Hey, folks. Now, the fantastic music spotlight, singer, songwriter, artist extraordinaire, David Glenn. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good, Brant. Thank you so much for such a nice introduction. It's good to see you. Good to meet you.
Hey, man. You know what? Brian Mays is a mutual contact of ours, acquaintance of ours, and he sent me your information. And are you kidding? Of course, I'd love to do that. And then I listened to your new track, man, A Brand New Day. And tell us right off the bat, as people are watching this interview, of course, if you're seeing it streamed live or rebroadcasted on multiple networks, you'll see at the bottom of your screen. But where is the best connection point so that people can get their feel good, positive, great hook, new source of an artist, David Glenn? Where do they go?
Yeah, jump on over to davidglenn.com. That's Glenn with two N's. And Facebook, all the socials, Instagram, all that good stuff. YouTube, we've been doing a lot of new stuff on YouTube. We actually just released a behind the scenes and in the studio recording of Brand New Day. That's
Wow.
on YouTube. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun because we got to, capture the moments of us actually recording the song. And with so many great friends and great artists, we had a good buddy of mine from Third Day playing guitar. We had
Oh,
a couple
wow.
guys, a couple guys from New Song in there playing. Babby Mason, who is an incredible gospel
Oh, yeah.
artist here in the
Oh,
Atlanta
yeah.
area. So yeah, it was a wonderful time. I've got some new music coming out. We're releasing, instead of in a whole album, we're releasing singles like every couple months. That's kind of the way the business has
That's the
kind
new way, isn't it?
of way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
years ago, it's been 10 years since I did a full project, and back then it was like you go in the studio for like 2 weeks and you camp out, you
Oh, yeah.
record all the songs, and then you have a project that you tour around and sell and merchandise and this kind of thing. Now we find ourselves in 2024. It's like you write a song, you record it, you have to have a lyric video, you have to have a YouTube video, you have to have all the resources on multi-tracks, loop community, and all this kind of stuff. So it's really cool though, because a lot of these songs have kind of caught on with the churches, and the churches are using these songs as a resource, for other people to worship the Lord. So that's a thrill for me, actually.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? When I saw the video, and folks, you got to see it. Brand New Day, David Glenn. Go to davidglenn.com, two N's, davidglenn.com. Part of information I got about you, you made a return after a decade with your Christmas single, Hope Has Come to Rain. Man, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to hearing that as well. You can't go wrong. Before you know it, David, it's going to be Christmas time coming up again. It seems to always creep up. But your music video really is a celebration inside the studio. It's the best way to do a video, if you ask me. I've produced music videos for great people like Dennis Jernigan and others. But when I saw this, of course, you might agree with this. An engineer captures a recording, but a producer captures a moment.
Absolutely.
And Brand New Day, you're capturing a moment of
Hmm.
great chemistry with your musicians and singers. I love the black choir effect, and some, I would almost call them swing horns, and just a great groove. I mean, great way to start your day. I got to hear it midday, and I'm already having a better day, really.
Good for
But
you.
I love your voice, David. You're a breath of fresh air, but when I heard about that, so what have you been doing for 10 years before you reemerged? What was going on?
I was traveling a lot. I was doing a tour with New Song, if you're
Yeah.
familiar with those guys. They've been
Oh,
around for a
yeah.
while. And they early on, they took me under their wing and let me travel on their tour bus and let me open up their shows. And I did a lot of Christmas tours with them. And then I fell in love and got married. And
Oh.
then I became a staff guy at a church, and I was a worship leader at a church full
Uh-huh.
time. And so, man, we started having a family. So I just started, that was obviously my priority. So, I've always been, I grew up in the church. I love serving the local church. But I'd been writing all these songs,
Right.
Brant, and it got to a point where, I was touring a little bit, several weekends a year kind of thing. And people kept saying, hey, you need to record these songs.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back in the studio and record these songs. And, we put together several tours with Mark Lee of Third Day. He's a good friend of mine. We do like a singer-songwriter tour together.
Yeah.
And And then I do a lot of I do a Christmas tour every year up in New England and down in the Southeast. And it's just wonderful just being able to have an opportunity to share these songs of hope and, remind people that we serve a God of restoration. And, the whole brand new day came from, Psalm 118. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And man, I used to during the pandemic, when we were shut down for a few months,
Oh yeah.
I would walk with, you remember that?
Oh
I would
yeah. Do
I would
I?
walk I would walk with my kids, and one of the things I tried to do was help them memorize scripture, and that was one of the scriptures my youngest daughter learned. And man, I started writing that course, the course of the song. I wrote all that in my music room at home, and then twice a year I'll go to Nashville and I write with a couple guys at Word and Daywind. And I pitched them this course, and I said, "Man, I think we could do something with this." And we started crafting those verses, and man, it just turned into this really exciting. For it, it blesses me to be able to just the message of the song is really for me. I just need to be reminded every day that, man, thank you, God. It's a brand new day, and
Yeah.
it's choice, right? We will rejoice and be glad
And
in it.
be
So we have to
glad in it.
choose. Yeah, man. So I'm thrilled about it, man. I'm excited to be on here with you and share it with
Well,
other
brother,
people.
I'm honored. We just now met, but having been a worship leader, having been an artist, it's very eye-opening. It's eye-opening to get outside the doors of the church and realize the thrill of reaching people where they are. But it's also encouraging and quite a learning experience when you minister to saints every week,
Yes.
and you pick up a lot of things. I think you probably are a better worship leader having been an artist before. And an artist, you're always an artist, but also it's interesting. It's interesting how that kind of bleeds together in a good way. Some of your gigs and stuff, you might bleed into worship and
Hmm.
vice versa, but you're a true artist and a worship artist. I was a recording artist before I was a worship leader. So I was before the skinny jean fog machine, big screen. Although those can be powerful tools to reach this culture. Don't get me wrong. No shame, no blame. But back in our day, man, we didn't have slides. We didn't have sheet music. We were the blackest white choir in Oklahoma City, and all the artists came through, and we really felt the worship and the musicianship was an incredible thing. And then now, anyway, you learn being in both fields, but you're still the same person. You're still
Yeah.
the same artist. What are some things you picked up? Uh, Maybe some things you discovered when you first went into the located worship ministry, and then some things that you brought with you back, to the surface with the music industry.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting you say that because there's a kind of a tension between the two. It's like if you're kind of in one camp, you're in a local church and you're serving that local body, but then you
Yeah,
have this desire to like share these songs that God's put on your heart with the church at large. So I am a worship leader at my home church in Atlanta. I love our church family, and but it's kind of it's a great situation where I'm able to go out on the road on occasion and still serve in the local church. So it's kind of a both and scenario. But one of the things I really learned about being on staff at church is, when you're on the road and you're doing the same set every night,
that's
it's like
easy.
this,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like this cookie cutter thing. It's kind of like an evangelist going on the road and he preaches the same sermon,
yeah,
every night, versus a pastor who has to really work and craft, a sermon each week. And same thing with a worship leader as you're crafting your set and, trying to help people worship and engage with the Lord through singing. But yeah, I think that's really it's served me really well serving on the local church,
yeah.
just to have a good home base, rich relational equity with people who are praying for me when I'm away, and praying for me that when I am leading other people, that God will be glorified and honored through all of that. And it's just a great situation I found myself in. But at this point, early on, I was on the road full time, just hitting it hard, grinding, and then I got married with kids, and then totally transitioned to the local church. And now it's kind of morphed into this both and thing, which I'm just thrilled about, because I do have a heart. Like you said, I have that artist kind of DNA thing where, man, I just like to be with creative people. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to like meeting people. I like connecting with people and with like interests and things like that. And
Well, you know what I think? I think you're a better artist now because having spent that time in the local church and having to remain fresh
mm,
and growing and leading people, there's song leaders, but then there's worship leaders.
you know,
And yeah,
it's so interesting you say that, because one of the things that I just thought of for the first time, in the local church, you can be a little bit more spontaneous
yeah,
and kind of flow with, if God kind of leads you in a different direction, kind of thing. And I've kind of grown in that area. So even in a concert setting, I feel like I have that freedom to go there, and it seems to work really well, especially where a lot of, I think it was like back in the late 2010, 2011, where all the artists started doing all these worship albums, and it
yeah.
was pretty much, everybody's doing worship music. So yeah, it served me really well, and I'm just thrilled and just honored every church that brings me in to do an event, a show, or conference or whatever. It's a thrill, it's an honor, and yeah, just thank God for the
Well, I
opportunity.
bring that up for a reason, folks. If you go to davidglenn.com, two N's, davidglenn.com, when you book him, you're getting more than an artist. You're getting a lead worshiper. And if you spend any time in that space, uh, I believe there's more of a depth of the concern for the people and bringing them along and
Mm,
encouraging them, putting something back, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and of course, as an artist too, a lot of people don't realize Bach would always put "To the Glory of God" on the back of his masterpieces. Did you know that, folks? When the Proverbs 16:3, commit what you do to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. Well, David, I can tell
Mm,
there's the joy of the Lord in you. You're a great artist, great voice, no doubt about it. Great
man,
hook, great song.
thanks so
Uh,
much.
but it's also cool to see the substance of what I'm seeing right now. And just want to encourage everybody, get behind people who are doing something for God. People
Mm,
help people who help people. David, you're out there helping people. And because you understand what it's like, you're just not the blow in, blow out artist and good luck. But you actually have a sensitivity to what people in those different spaces are going through when they're wanting to minister to people. They want to, there's no such thing as a part-time ministry, so they're pouring out all the time, and yet they have to make the time to still grow themselves and be fresh, and that's only going to reflect in your music. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, man. I think you're a better worship leader because you are an artist, and you're a better artist because you're a worship leader, and your joy shines through. You got to listen to that song, Brand New Day. It really did lift me up. I've been up half the night and the internet going on and off from storms and all that, but here we are. The eclipse has already happened and you're still here, folks. So you
clear.
might as well, grow, put good things into your mind and your heart and your soul, and spread the word about people that are doing great things, making great music that lifts you up. And of course, all good things come from God. So, David
Amen.
Glenn, what a pleasure it is to meet you and to interview you. We want to keep up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to, drop in on occasion. Like I said, uh, uh, Brian Mays in Nashville, my publicist, we released this single, and over the next couple months, we're releasing new singles. So I'd love to, if anybody's interested, connect with me online on socials, and you'll be able to see the links to the YouTube and all this kind of stuff. And it's just an honor, to serve. One of the things, real quickly, I might add, you had mentioned about the church and being sensitive to the local churches. When I
Yeah.
go into the church, the first thing I do is ask the pastor, "Hey, what's going on in your church? What are some things that are you kind of struggling with right now that maybe I can address through our time together?" Right.
Wow.
And one of the stories, we were up in Virginia, and there was a girl that showed up. She was supposed to come to the event, but she has terminal cancer,
Oh,
and he said, "I don't think she's going to be coming tonight." And about halfway through the set, I changed a couple songs. Halfway through the set, there's a song I wrote called Lord of the Sun and Rain, and it talks about glorifying God no matter what our circumstances are.
Wow.
And her husband carried her into the concert right before I did that song. And she was standing there just frail, just leaning against the chair. And she raised her hand while she was singing the chorus of that song. And it blessed me because the pastor had told me what she was going through. I immediately knew who that was.
Yeah.
And she told me after the show, you know, she came up and said that song really ministered to me because it reminded me I'm going through a valley right now, but God never changes. And he's on the throne, and I can bless the Lord of the sun in good times and the rain in bad times. And so that just jazzed me, got me all fired up. So yeah, I love it, man.
Well, a true minister, a true artist, a lead worshiper, also a resource for your local church, davidglenn.com. Book him, get those resources, get behind what he's doing, pray for him as well. I can interview guys like you all day long, all your friends who have that same heart, man. You love people, you use things. You don't love things and use people. You love people, and you're concerned. The very fact that you would ask a pastor, what's your church going through? That's music to a pastor's ears, because I've been one. Appreciate you, David Glenn. Yeah, and you know what? You're not a stranger to the music scene, you know, but you're new to me as an individual artist, and I'm just thrilled I got to meet you today, folks. Connect with him through Facebook, subscribe to his YouTube channel, get behind what God is doing, and you will be blessed. We'll see you next time. Thank you, David.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Brant.
Mercies, endless blessings, rising, waking with the sun. God has good things out there waiting for me. I say let them come, 'cause this is a day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is a day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new day. Oh, I've got joy in me, real hope down deep. This world can't take away. And there's no doubt he's faithful. No fear, 'cause he's able. Whatever comes my way. 'Cause this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad. So let the light shine in the darkness. Let our sorrows turn to praise. It's a brand new day. So let all God's people say, this is the day the Lord has made. So we will rejoice, we will rejoice. This is the day the Lord has made. So we will rejoice, we will rejoice. Yeah, yeah, 'cause this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad.